Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. We're going to be going into another route of R.I.P 9 today. It's been a few days since my last video. Saturday I stayed up almost all night, like 6 a.m. I think, and then I got up early on top of that. So my body has been forcing me over the last couple of days to go to bed. I have not been able to keep my eyes open past midnight, so I haven't been able to record anything. I don't know how long I'm going to last today, which is why we're doing 9 RIP instead of MP, because MP's video is going to be 2.5 hours long, at least, or around there. And I know 9 RIP's not going to be that long. I could even do Gil from Cupid Parasite because I could just record until it's an hour and then edit it, but I guess because I was disappointed with Cinna's route, I want to see what's going to happen in Koyo's route now. This is going to be a walkthrough of Koyo's route sped up. It's not going to have the in-depth reading of the common route. If you want to watch that, you can watch Cinna's route, which has all the common route read out. This one we're going to be skipping everything that we have read from that playthrough and picking the choices that leads down to Koyo's main route. The choices branch off, I believe, either end of chapter 4 or chapter 5, and that's when we're going to start reading new things, and that's when the main plot of Koyo's is going to start, leading up into his route. I will leave timestamps down below if you want to skip to that area. If you don't want to read any of the choices leading up to that, I will leave in the description where you can find where the new story picks up. Anyway, continue. I don't have a common route continue because I restarted my game for this. Dang it. Okay. Well, I'll just skip ahead to that anyway. Alright, here's the prologue choice. The prologue will be skipped in pretty much every video aside from the very first video that I ever done with this, because it just, well, when I go down the next common route, then it'll have a little bit more in it, but we're going to check the materials in the library, which is going to take us down to the urban legends. Alright, now that we're in chapter 1, we're going to be using the skip to choice function to get through all the choices for Koyo. Alright, he's asking us what our name is. We're kind of perturbed at him right now, but we're going to go ahead and say Isshiki. I'm going to do something different than the last common route walkthrough like this. I'm going to read all of Koyo's choices just so we can go back and look at how she interacted with him and stuff, because it's been over 2 weeks since we did that common route. It's Isshiki Misa. I was still uncertain about him, but since he'd given me his name, I figured I should at least give him mine. He may be a little bit pushy, but I don't think he's a bad person.
素直。いいパートナーになりそう。
I haven't agreed to do this job with you, so don't call me your partner. Yeah, he's like, meet me at 1 o'clock. We have a job to do.
ミサは俺の拾い物だけど、拾ったものをどうしようと俺の勝手でしょ。
But before I get too deep into this common route, there is going to be spoilers of the routes before this because I'm just going to talk about them naturally. So if you haven't read any of them, I would highly recommend that you read those first before you get into Koyo's route, because we are doing them in a certain order, and I will be comparing them to the other routes just because it's fun for me to compare as I go through this. It just, I don't know, I enjoy the experience. Now I wish he would just have left me on the ground. Oh yeah, I have to go back and get that CG because I'm going to use that CG for this. I couldn't help it, he ticked me off. When I turned my face away from him, he pinched my cheek. Hey.
そういう顔してると悪いこと起きんぞ。
Oh, bad, huh? I slapped his hand away, but rather than getting upset, he merely laughed happily.
いいね。あんたのこと気に入ってきた。
What was he so happy about? I hadn't the faintest idea.
てか、 さっき考えたいことあるって言ったけど、それって心残りに関係ある？
Alright, this is where it leads back into the main text of the common root. I'm going to do the skip read function because I did the skip to the next choice and I didn't see a Koyo perspective, and I don't know if I missed that or not. So I want to just skip this way. Yeah, we did miss one, so I didn't get to see this because I skipped. Apparently I already read it, I guess. After splitting up with Misa, as various things ran through my mind, I found myself in front of the Skooma shrine. Stopping to admire the scene, my thoughts drifted to her. Maybe I should have stayed with her a little longer. My brow furrowed. I tried to distract her as much as possible, but I think I just ended up annoying her. Not that there was anything wrong with that. A little light conversation to get her mind off things is probably best. I looked over to check the time on the phone of someone passing by. It was almost evening. Knowing him, he'd be at the park already. I could head there late tonight. Yeah, I forgot. Even though we did the common route, there's still a couple of Koyo choices, and I think I already read this, but it's fine. We could revisit it. It won't hurt. Now I had another person to add to the list of people I wanted to help cross over. I still had some time before nightfall. That gave me some time to look for clues about my regrets. And the person I died with here. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. See, it's important to go back and reread. Who did he die with? I was speculating it was her because I think he tried to save her, but he tried to save her as a ghost. There's no way that he died with her. A little after I split up with Koyo, she went to the park, so now we're going to go ahead and skip the Senna. Alright, and he's asking for a handshake. I already said the yes please because I realized we skipped Koyo after that. And still after everything, I was wondering how to respond. Yes please. He held out his hand and I gently took it. He made 2 comically large pumps with our joined hands. Thank you. I thanked him for the handshake and our hands slowly separated. Celebrities' handshakes sure are intense.
ちょっと名残惜しいけど、長居するとさっきの子たちまた来るかもしれないし。そろそろ帰ろうと思うんだけど、その前に君の名前を教えてほしいな。
My name?
ごめん。出会ってまだ数分だし、怖かったかな。
No, it's something like that. I'm just happy you want to know my name. My name is Misa Isshiki.
ありがとう。僕はね、漢字で書くと、星と絆で、セナって読むんだ。
And we're going to go ahead and skip now, because I think it's the same. Alright, most of this is the same now without any affection ups. So we're going to say, I forgot what I just chose, but... So we're going to say it has nothing to do with Sayaka, and we're going to go ahead and skip. Alright, we're in chapter 2 now, and we're going to try holding the piece of paper. There's a piece of paper on the floor, and it belongs to her career path survey. We saw both of these because they're in Senna's route, but first we're going to choose our classroom. I saw this place in my vision too. I walked to my classroom, I checked the clock, and I saw that it was lunchtime. I couldn't see Sayaka, and I figured that she must be in the cafeteria.
ねえ、一色さんなんだけど、事故現場に佇む姿が目撃されたとか。
There was a sighting of me there today. I really wasn't happy to hear that. It seemed my accident was still a big topic of conversation and the room buzzed with rumors. In the midst of all those rumors, I strolled between the rows of desks looking for something to help jog my memory. But there doesn't seem to be anything here. Plus, hearing all the gossip about me is really starting to get to me. I should leave. Disgusted by the baseless rumors, I resolved to leave the classroom when a strange sound entered my ears.
はい、じゃあ今日も続きやっていきますよ。
You get to hear Koyo as a YouTuber.
サイレントブラッド。多分今日エンディングまでいけるんじゃないかな。
That voice, those mannerisms, where? I searched all around the room for the source of this voice. Then I spied some girls in the corner of the classroom watching something on a smartphone.
やっぱ夜空の声癖になる。また配信してくんないかな。
最後の配信1年くらい前だっけ。亡くなったって噂本当かな。
Curious, I snuck a peek at the phone from behind the girls. Looks like somebody is streaming a video game, Silent Blood Part 12.
いつも言ってますけど、ゲーム実況の時はコメント消してます。俺からは見えてるけど、コメント確認してると死ぬのでね。ゲームに集中します。
That voice sounds a lot like Koyo.
ゲーム実況も面白いけどさ、怖い話の回とかだと顔出してやってくれるじゃん。あれの方がいいよね。イケメンだからずっと眺めていられる。
でもさ、だからこその弊害あるよね。夜空の視聴者怖くない？女ばっかりで粘着質なの多いし。
ああね、視聴者の匂わせで炎上しかけた時もあったっけ。
As I listened to the girls talk, I started the game that was being played on the phone.
はあ、いいなあ。俺このキャラほんと好きなんだよね。マジ全力で助けてやりたい。ってことで、ここからは集中モード。大きい声出すと喉枯れるわ。俺の喉、この実況でほぼ死亡してる。
That really is Koyo. That means he used to be a streamer.
なんか寒気しない？エアコン効きすぎ。
Huh? Could it be because of me? I quietly apologized to the girls and decided to take my leave. I'm gonna go to Senna, but I think we're just gonna go ahead and skip Senna. She meets him there, and he says like a silent prayer or something for her, which is fine. We'll just skip it for now. Make the video shorter. We're talking to him. So of the two of them, the one related to my accident was, I think it was Sayaka, but let me just double check. Maybe Sayaka. Oh, and the priest saw them, and he was like, is there someone there? Because he has a sixth sense for ghosts. Let's skip to the next one, because there's like 3. Alright, Sayaka again. Oh, now they're at the shrine, and they're talking to the priest, but it's fine. And then we're gonna just go ahead and keep skipping. Trying to figure out how she died. I'm gonna talk about his concerns. I'm gonna skip the Senna. We're gonna think this version is great too. It takes another affection up that we're gonna skip as well. And now we're gonna finally meet Koyo for our job. I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the next part, but he basically takes her to someone that is trying to commit suicide, and he talks to them through their smartphone, and that shows her the power that he has with the living. And we're gonna say Koyo is very kind. Koyo is a very kind person. Acting as Mary, he must have helped so many people.
なんでニヤニヤしてんの？
Please, I wasn't staring. I was just thinking about you.
は？何それ？
But you're kind. You don't just use that phone for yourself or the people you care about. You use it for others too. His face flushed red as he pretended to pout as he spoke.
暇つぶしにやってるだけ。てか、あんたの心残りはどうなった？
About that. I think I found something important, but I still don't know what it means. I really don't feel like that answered his question, but I also didn't feel like I had an answer. I still hadn't sorted all the things out for myself yet.
それ大事に持っておいて。あんたにとって意味のあるものだから。今そう感じていなくても、いつかそうなる。必ず。
Yeah, I think you're right. The career path survey pieces, I gently tapped the pocket where they were. This is something that has meaning for me, something very important.
ああ、そうだ。大切な人に伝えたいことがあったら俺に言って。さっきやったようにできるから。
He wants to let her know that he can get in contact with whoever she might have a lingering regret with. The idea sounded very appealing to me. I knew that if I could talk to Sayaka and my family, it would make me feel so much better, but I still didn't feel like I was ready to talk to them yet, so I hesitated. Maybe after I sort things out. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and skip to the next part. Or we could just ask him about streaming, because that one's coming up next. We're gonna change the topic. We're gonna talk about streaming. It was then that I remembered the video I saw at school today. This is a total change of topic, but did you used to be a streamer, Koyo? Like with horror video games?
え、知ってたの?
That reaction told me everything I needed to know. That was him. I saw some girls at school today watching a video on their phones. That's how I found out, so I only just figured it out today.
ああ、そういうことか。確かに生前はやってた。ホラーに特化したチャンネル設定で。
You're pretty good. I'm terrible at games like that, so I was really impressed. I couldn't help but stare at the screen as you killed zombie after zombie. And how should I put it? The way you commented through the whole thing, it was so cool. I turned over to look at Koyo and saw he'd pulled the mask up in front of his face. By the way, what's with the mask?
リアルに感想を言われるとか。恥ずかしい。
Is he embarrassed? Thinking that, I couldn't help but think he looked a little cute. You're kind of cute when you get flustered, Koyo. I spoke honestly, and he stopped to stare at me. Then he spoke.
キモ。
I was just trying to be nice. I'd better head home now.
別に帰ってほしくて言ったわけじゃないから。
But you said you. How am I supposed to take that?
男に向かって可愛いもどうなの?
So that's why he's staring at me. Well, I guess it's mutual. Koyo nodded and pulled his mask down. From now on, when I see him wearing his mask, I'll watch what I say.
てか、ゲームがメインの配信じゃないから。怖い話を視聴者から募集したり、俺自身の体験談とかも紹介してさ。実際に心霊スポットに行って取材するようなこともしてた。
It sounds pretty scary. Weren't you scared?
あるけど、そういう活動をしていくって決めたのは自分だから。
That sounds like a very Koyo rule. But I feel like there's definitely a deeper meaning there.
まあ、マジでヤバそうな場所は避けてたけど。
A really scary place.
配信したらシャレになんないレベル。視聴するだけで呪われそうなやつ。
My mind went wild thinking of what it could possibly be. I feel like this is a side of Koyo that I've never seen before.
今度怖い話してあげる。あんたの白い顔が真っ青になるくらいの話。
I think I'll pass. I'm the type of person that'll believe anything now. As a ghost, my ability to believe the truth in scary stories was on another level.
幽霊なのに怖いの?
Well, yeah, obviously, right? Scary stuff is scary.
なんだかミサさんって可愛いですね。
When I realized he was mocking what I said earlier, I huffed. I can't believe he's rehashing something that was already over. I guess he really didn't like that I called him cute. Anyway, guess it's time for me to head back.
待って。明日も駅前に昼の1時ね。
We have to do this again tomorrow. I thought the work that Koyo was doing was wonderful, but I had my own issues to sort out.
嫌なら来なくていいから。探し出して捕まえるだけだし。
Why are you so pushy?
強引でも何でも、今のあんたは一人にさせられない。
Huh? What did he mean by that?
それじゃあ明日ね。
Yeah. He's gone. What did he mean he didn't want me to be alone? I could have chased him down and asked him, but I had someplace else that I needed to be. I'm going to head to the park again today. Maybe I can catch Sayaka to try to get her to notice me like yesterday. Maybe I can hear something from her, not just another apology, but the truth. He doesn't want you left alone because he doesn't want you to wallow in your sorrows and regrets and turn into a wraith. After parting ways with Misa, I wandered around the city aimlessly. My thoughts drifted back to Misa and her lingering regrets.
今日は空振りか。
I didn't tell her about my married job to try to impress her or anything. I just wanted to show her that she could contact the people she cares about. And yet...
なんで暗い顔になるわけ?
A lot of ghosts are able to cross over when they can communicate with family. I guess in her case, that won't be enough to solve the problem.
まあ、頑張らないとな。
Still, if she keeps up with that doom and gloom on her face, she's liable to become a wraith before she can cross over. At the same time, I can't push her to open up about her regrets either. That has its own dangers. I would just have to keep watching over her until she was ready to open up to me. It's the only way that I can take responsibility for watching her die. Alright, we're going to skip to the next part. Alright, this is chapter 3. She's at the scene of her accident, and she's going to try to envision what happened. And skip again. Alright, now she's wondering what brought her to the shrine in the first place. It was her charm. Now we could definitely skip because it's going to go to Senna. Alright. She's embarrassed. He said that she can hide her face if she wants to, so we're going to bury my face in his chest. I knew there was no other option, but if other ghosts were to see me, especially Koyo, I might die again of embarrassment. I just wanted to read that. I'm going to skip again. First thing that came to mind was, I think she was wondering who pushed her, and I think it's Sayaka. Well, I say I think. It is Sayaka, but... no, it can't be Sayaka. Okay, we're gonna skip. As I told him, don't worry so much. I think he's talking about Senna. How can I put this? I don't want you to worry so much. I'm just happy to know that there was someone there with me, someone who tried to save me. Oh, he just told her that he tried to save her, but he can't because he was a ghost, so he just watched her die.
救われたって何もできていないだろ。
That's not true. I used to think what happened to me was nothing but a tragedy, but now I don't feel that way anymore. I mean, how could it be a tragedy when I had someone who cared so much for me nearby? Koyo's eyes trembled.
俺の方が救われた気持ち。
He muttered, and slowly his clouded expression faded into a gentle smile.
ミサのおかげで心が軽くなった。ありがとう。
I'm like, how could you tell he smiled? He has the mask on. I feel like I should be thanking you too. We both smiled at each other.
今でも助けられるよな。
Koyo stared back at me, his serious look strewn across his face.
俺が見たあんたの事故、今から話すからよく聞いて。
I felt my body shiver. I'm nervous. He stared at the road and began to tell me what had happened.
俺が気づいたのは、あんたが車道に飛び出す直前だった。
The area was tinged the color of the setting sun. I was walking around the area for no reason in particular when I saw you. You were frozen, just staring at the ground. It was strange. The living almost never stand alone by themselves like that, so I decided to simply watch you. He said your face was so pale, then you checked your bag and kept staring. The whole thing was very bizarre.
あの子何やって。
Before I even finished mumbling those words, things took a turn for the worse. You started running towards the street and I instinctively ran after you. Stopped for a moment just at the edge of the road. I reached out my hand to grab you, but I couldn't reach you. It was like you had tripped or something and you fell into the road. You jumped into the street.
それからスクモ神社の神主さんが境内から出てきて救急車を呼んだり、野じ馬が集まってきたり。
Alright, we're gonna skip the rest of it. Looks like this is one of the ones that we don't go to both, so we're gonna go to Narimigahama High. I decided to stretch my legs and walk to the school. I bumped into Koyo near the school gate. Koyo?
あんたか、学校に用事？
Your homework? No, I just thought I'd go for a walk. Did you come to meet Kuraha?
当たり。さっき見たばかりのホラー映画の感想を聞いてもらってた。
Oof, I kind of feel bad for Kuraha. I know, right? But I got the feeling that Kuraha probably liked those kinds of stories and movies. How wrong you are. Would you mind talking with me for a bit?
時間あるしいいよ。
Thanks. Well, now we're going to ask him about his personal preferences. Alright, we're not going to read most of these until the last chapter, so first we're going to talk about friends. So you and Senna go way back together, right?
ああ、いわゆる幼馴染ってやつ。
How did you two become friends?
小学生の時、あいつが消しゴムを忘れて俺のを半分に切ってやったら懐かれた。
So I guess you were good at helping people out since you were little, huh?
消しゴム貸すぐらい人助けってほどの内容じゃないだろう。
Okay, but you must have made Senna feel really happy when you did that. Makes sense that he became so attached to you. Even though when we met, it's the first time for him, he always gives me such a friendly smile.
あんた、セナのこと気になってんの？
Huh? Well, no. I'm just curious, that's all.
なんとなくね。そういうのが気になってるって言うんじゃない？
Are you jealous? Not really. I was more just curious about your relationship with him. Wait, does that make it sound like I'm interested in Koyo then? I stole a quick glance at Koyo. He's got his mask up. He's blushing too, look at that. He's got his defenses up. Did he put up his mask because he's embarrassed? Yes, he did. I didn't mean anything weird by that. I just don't know much about you, Koyo, so I just thought I wanted to know more.
聞かれるの嫌いじゃない。あんたに限っては。
The way he says it so dismissingly is adorable. Well, good. The way he said, as long as it's you, made my heart skip a beat. Well then, let's keep asking more.
うん。あんたのことも聞くかも。
He just mumbles it. It's so cute. Yes, please do. For a while after that, Koyo couldn't make eye contact with me. But we enjoyed talking back and forth with each other. Oh, come on. I wanted to hear more. Dang it. As the sun began to set, I headed for the park in hopes of running into Sayaka and Totodamaru. We're gonna go ahead and skip it. That was really adorable. Alright, it looks like we didn't choose this in Senna's route. We're gonna say a spell. It's possible. Could it be?
僕はあなたを闇へ誘うもの。
After hearing that voice, the paper was ripped. The printout on the table, it looked just like mine. I thought my doubts had been cleared up, but I turned again to my friend. This stupid curse. Is this the reason I'm dead? All of the paranormal phenomena around me, was this the cause of it all? I shook my head, trying to calm down. It's okay, it's okay. I tried to calm myself to keep the darkness from pervading its way into my heart. It wasn't a spell, it wasn't the spell, it wasn't the spell. I'm not gonna say that 6 times, but I repeated the words over and over again. He's going insane.
ごめんなさい。私のせいであの子が謝る必要なんてないって。
翼ちゃん？
さやかには悪いけど 私はこういうの信じてないから。
Alright, and we've already seen the rest of this, and I'm already having trouble speaking, so we're gonna go ahead and jump. I have to pretty much read all of chapter 5 too in this one. Alright, we are in chapter 4 now, I believe, and he's trying to take us to the hospital because we collapsed or something, and he keeps getting close to the hospital and his mind keeps resetting. And she's trying to tell him that he doesn't have to go. And she says something about him being along the lines of a good person. And he's like, how do you know I'm a good person? You just met me. And we're going to say, because I'm a fan. Because I'm a fan of yours, Senna. Well, I'm a fan of Senna the person, not necessarily Senna the idol. Senna chuckled at my response.
君はファンじゃないでしょ。だって僕に対してあまりにも普通なんだもん。
I guess you caught me. I guess he didn't really understand that I guess he really didn't understand what I was trying to say.
でも君がファンじゃなくてもいいかもって思ってるんだよね。
And why is that?
一目惚れの相手にはアイドルのセナじゃなくて僕自身を見てほしいから。
Okay, I guess his memory hasn't reset just now. He does lose his memory on the way to the hospital. I just don't know if it happened before this or if it happens after this. Oh, that's right. Today, Senna thinks he fell in love at first sight with me. But I guess Senna really does believe he fell in love at first sight with me. Just thinking about it made me embarrassed.
困ってるね。
I'm sorry.
君には迷惑かもしれないけど、僕は考えずにいられないんだ。
Let's go ahead and move along. Alright, I went back to talking about Koyo's friends just to make sure we didn't miss his perspective, and we didn't. But what it does show us is his creepy girlfriend ghost that I guess makes a warning to her saying to stay away from Koyo. Anyway, here Koyo is talking about basically asking her if she would help Senna with his memory because he seems to remember pieces of her the next day, even though he's supposed to forget completely. And in Koyo's route, we're going to say, you don't have to tell me. Koyo, you don't have to ask me to do that. I was planning to keep seeing Senna anyway. Koyo quickly raised his face back up. I mean, I want to help Senna cross over too. I found it terribly sad that he couldn't face reality and that he was stuck here.
Thank you. 本当に助かる。
Why are you thanking me? I'm doing this because I want to. I'm not doing it for you. Besides, I was thinking of going to visit Senna now anyway. I didn't want Koyo to feel guilty, so I told him that.
あんたって最高にいい女。
I'm a little surprised to hear him say that. I tried to hide my response and told him the same thing. I mean, you bowed pretty low asking me to help your friend. You're a pretty good guy yourself, Koyo. As I spoke, he seemed taken aback by my words as well. Mask back on. He quickly pulled up his mask before speaking.
セナなら駅前あたりにいると思う。
He's back to his quick mumbled words. Bye. He quickly slipped by me and walked swiftly into the school. I figured he was going to see Kurataha. That was a kind of a weird moment we had just now. Even just thinking back on it made me feel embarrassed. I giggled to myself as I walked away. Cut your perspective. What is he going to think? I quickly entered the school and let out a sigh. I hadn't expected Misa's response. I mean, I did call her best girl. Why did I say that? It just kind of slipped out. Is that how I really feel? I guess so. Misa really is one of the nicest people I've ever met.
顔を隠して何をやっている？
Does he know the secret behind your raised mask? As soon as he finished speaking, I lowered my mask.
ちょっとね。
Just a little. What did he ask? What is it? Just a little. Okay.
ん？少し顔が赤いようだが、何かあったのか？
Oh, is his face red?
別に何もないし。そうか。それならいいが。ところで、
今日は何の用だ?
Kuroha, he's so matter of fact. He's like, yeah, I see. Well, back to business as usual. What brings you here?
別になんもないけど。
Seeing Kuroha's inquisitive gaze got on my nerves. Or maybe I just didn't want him to see me blushing like that anymore, so I got up to leave the school.
俺行くわ。
ああ。またな。
Okay, bye. Is with me. Is it because Misa called me a great guy? Nah, I called her best girl first. It's been a while since I've been so mixed up like this. I gotta get my head on straight. That was cute. So I think I mentioned in Cinna's route how I hate when they start developing feelings in the common route, because then you feel bad going down one or the other, because it's like, you have feelings for me, but I'm gonna go down this route instead. And I'm noticing that it's only really portrayed in their own respective perspectives. So, because you don't feel like, or I didn't feel like that Koyo was falling for her in Cinna's route. It was only Cinna. So if we were playing this from the beginning as Koyo, it'd probably be the same. Near the station, I searched for Cinna. I'm gonna go ahead and skip. We're going with Cinna on the beach. He doesn't remember her. He feels like he kind of remembers something. I don't know if that's at the end of this or not. But he's asking what is bothering her, and it's her friend Sayaka. In his route, we talked to him. In this one, we're going to hold back. I came here to help him, not myself. I couldn't allow him to help me out right now. What are you talking about? I'm fine, seriously. I tried to act as though nothing was bothering me and turned my face away from him.
そっか。そうだよね。ごめんね。勝手に決めつけちゃって。でも、なんでか、君は何かを抱え込んでいる。それも前から、そんな風に思っちゃってさ。
Before, his words reminded me of our second meeting. When we met at Skumo's shrine, he was very concerned about me then. Could it be? Is he remembering back to that time?
初めて会うのにおかしいよね。
As he spoke, he laughed and returned to his old self. It was just as Koyo said, there was something about me that Cinna remembered. I wondered, perhaps if I told him about my concerns, I could create a deeper memory with him, one that he'd be sure to remember. In the end, I decided to speak. I have this friend. She's been my best friend since childhood. Cinna was the first person here I told about this. Okay, skip again. This is a save file as well. This is the common route though. So did we already see this? I wonder. Yeah, this is the common route save. This is different from Cinna's route. I'm very curious on what it is actually. I feel like it's like an insanity route. Like I'm looking over the choices. Maybe she built up so much insanity that she just goes insane. That's just what I'm thinking. Okay. Okay. And we're going to say she's trying to make it up to me, and we've already read both of these, so we're going to skip. Well, I don't remember what they're talking about. Oh, I think they are looking in on Sayaka right now, and she's got some stuff scribbled out on her paper because she's trying to research something for her. And it was the Grasping Boy Mirror, Hibiki, and the Spirit Board, and she's crossed both of those out, and she wants to go check them out. And I've got to protect my friend is the choice. I'm afraid my friend's involved with something dangerous. I got no choice but to protect her. With that, Koyo smiled.
ま、俺もあんたと同じ選択をするだろうな。
You already do, don't you? You're doing everything you can to help Cinna, right? Blush. Koyo's face flushed red with embarrassment. Seeing him like this, it was my turn to smile.
ニヤニヤしててキモいんだけど。
Right, whatever you say. His words didn't bother me. I knew he was just embarrassed. I know, it's so cute. What do they call that? Kuderi? Is he a kuderi? Koyo was familiar with the rumors of the boy in the mirror, and he told me about them as we headed towards the mirror. As we arrived, I remembered. Come to think of it, yesterday, yep, Sayaka was talking to a teacher in front of the mirror because she was caught. And we're going to skip. We are going to head to the station to talk to Koyo. And then look around in the hustle and bustle of the station.
こんなところで何やってんの？
Ah, Koyo. I thought I'd take a walk to clear my head. What about you?
ちょっと聞き込み中。
Information? About what?
知りたいことっていうか、探してるもんがあって。
What the heck is he talking about?
でもそろそろ切り上げようと思ってたから、あんたが来てくれてちょうどよかった。
What does that mean?
俺も息抜きしたいってこと。暇ならその辺歩きながら話そう。
I guess it really was perfect timing. Sure, I like that. What should we talk about? We're going to talk about food, and then we'll talk about the other three on the next part. I've been thinking about it ever since I died, but being stuck in a body that can't eat sure is terrible, huh? I used to love ordering sweets and desserts at the cafe. Only being able to look at all the freshly baked goods at the cafe sure is rough.
ああ、それ俺もわかる。ちょっとあんたとは理由違うけど。
A different way.
食いながら好きな映画流したりしてリラックスできる瞬間だったなって。一日の中で一番幸せ感じる時だったかも。
Both of our favorite things sound surprisingly normal. I guess you really don't know what you have until it's gone.
死者あるあるだな。まあ、今はこの幽霊ライフも悪くないって思うけど。
You know, I never really thought about it until now, but Koyo's here, so he has regrets, right? He's just going around helping people, and he said ghost life isn't so bad, so what is his regrets, I wonder? What do you mean? And why are you staring at me?
誰かさんが現れてから忙しくなったなぁと思って。
Well, I'm sorry to have troubled you.
いいんじゃない？悪くないって言ってんだから。
Huh? Silence. Should I be happy about that? Koyo smiled as though he was enjoying this. I got the feeling his not bad actually meant good. I feel like I've gotten to know Koyo a little better, and that makes me happy. Oh, we're not going to elaborate. Dang it. After we finished talking, I finally gathered the courage to visit my house. I hadn't totally prepared myself to go inside, however. I wonder how my mom and sister are holding up. When I had seen my sister yesterday with Sayaka, she seemed to be doing alright, which left me very relieved. But, okay, I think I have read this. I have skipped to unread text. Okay, so it will skip this if I have seen it. I don't have the red text highlighted anymore, so I'm I'm not sure sometimes, so yeah, it skipped for us. We're in chapter 5 now, and that was enough for me. Not exactly sure the context here, but we're gonna say we'll see you tomorrow. Well then, I'll come see you tomorrow too. Then it gave me a troubled look.
ごめん。明日には都内に戻らないといけないんだ。
Well, I had a feeling he'd say that. That was too bad, but I understood. No matter what I told him, he wouldn't change. Oh, that's right. After whispering that, I decided to ask him about what I'd just seen. Before I got here, you were talking to a girl, right? Oh yeah, Koyo's psychopathic girlfriend.
ああ、レイカちゃんだね。あの子、僕の友達の彼女さんなんだ。
So it's true.
今日は彼に会いに行くんだって。すっごく嬉しそうに言っていたよ。友達から僕のことを聞いていたみたいでさ。さっきが初めてだったから驚いちゃった。
We're gonna skip it, but she finds it weird that he is just now hearing about her for the first time. And we're gonna go to the cafe. And we're gonna talk about the rest of Koyo's stuff. I decided to check the coffee shop where I had found one of the pieces before. Last time it was mixed in with the papers that Sayaka brought. Maybe there's another one. I doubted I could find another piece here, but I had to be sure.
注文できないのになんでこんなとこいんの？
I spun around to the source of the voice and found Koyo standing behind me. I could ask you the same thing.
喫茶店の前を通りかかった時、あんたが店内にいるのを見かけて。
So he saw me and decided to follow me? Is that really it?
そうだけど、悪い？
Well, I guess I was happy that he decided to say hello. Well, I'm glad you decided to say hello. Silence. Koyo turned his gaze away from mine. I could see his cheeks were flushed a little red, but no mask this time. Seeing he'd gone out of his way to come and see me, I thought it might be a good opportunity to chat with him for a bit. Do you have some time to talk? I could use a break.
まあいいけど。
His words were blunt and stilted, and I giggled to myself as I thought of a topic for us. Alright, so mask is the choice, so we're going to talk about everything but the mask first. Scary stories. I heard that you used to do a lot of streaming. Your specialty was horror content, right, Koyo?
うん。怖い話をテーマに語ったり、ホラーゲームしてみたり、心霊スポットに取材しに行ったり。いろんな企画考えてやってた。
So you must know a lot of scary stories, right?
何？聞きたいの？
No thanks, I'll pass.
久しぶりに語るのも悪くないな。こんな話があってさ。
Oh, really? He's like, I'll tell you what anyway. Huh? No, I said no thanks.
これは視聴者から寄せられた話なんだけど。
He is not listening to you. Why is he listening? Ignoring my protest, Koyo began to speak with a hushed voice. It all started a few years back when that one famous horror movie led to a horror boom. There was a company collecting scary stories from all over the country to create a horror game collection. The development staff divided up and started gathering various ghost stories and urban legends. That was one of the stories they found, or this was. At first it sounded like a typical ghost story. It was about someone who went crazy while falling in love. There was a boy who lived in an apartment with a girl. The girl loved the boy very much, and her name was Kane. The boy was a scam artist. He betrayed Kane and killed her. Ever since then, whenever the boy and girl lived together in that apartment, it is said they will always be separated. Love that you feel so much, it's scary. I've read a lot of ghost stories and nearly all of them involve love. I guess that just goes to show you how deeply love is intertwined with our souls. So back to the apartment Kane haunted. Upon hearing the ghost story, most of the staff at the gaming company didn't know what to do. While the story certainly was creepy, it lacked a certain impact. After all, the worst that happens in the story is a couple that moves into the apartment breaks up. To boost the impact, they decided to punch up the story a little bit. They said that any couple who moved into that apartment, one of them would go crazy and kill the other or themselves. They also changed the story so Kane wasn't killed by her boyfriend, but instead went mad with love and stabbed herself in the heart. They changed the details as they pleased and then decided to use the story for their game. However, soon after that, the writer of the story for the game suddenly died. In fact, the writer was living with their lover and planned to get married soon. Their lover suddenly went crazy and killed the writer by stabbing them. Soon after that, the writer who took over was stabbed in the chest by his wife after the two of them got into an argument. Wait, so two writers got stabbed? All the strange occurrences, the director of the game decided to pause development. Then as the director started reading over the program files in the game, something terrifying happened. Any couple who moved into that apartment, one of them would go crazy and kill the other or themselves. Lies. Lies. They also changed the story so Kane wasn't killed by her boyfriend, but instead went mad. Wait, what? Okay. Like, it sounds like they're repeating the same thing, but it's turning red, so it's still new. Lies. In the game's code, there were hundreds of terrible curse words. Shortly after, the director went mad and moved to a mental hospital. There he told the staff, "Those who tell ghost stories must never change the fact. The girl, she was always watching us, always watching us." That is pretty creepy.
久しぶりに階段を語れてすっきり。
It feels nice. Silence.
おーい、大丈夫か？
I told you I didn't want to hear it. What are you going to give me if I have a nightmare later?
あんた、幽霊だって自覚ある？
Don't sleep.
それじゃあ、いいこと教えてあげる。
Tell you the rest of it.
かなえさん、先週成仏したから大丈夫だよ。
Aw. So it was real. Because of Mary.
ま、そういうこと。
Mary, aka Koyo. I wondered if most of the ghost stories I'd heard up to this point were people he'd helped cross over.
次の話も結構怖いって言われてるんだけどね。
She's like, please don't. You want to tell me another one? No, no way, I'm good. That's it. Stare at him. Alright, back to the choices. Alright, now we're going to talk about love. Koyo, your videos are pretty popular with girls, right?
別に女の人に受けようなんて思ってない。
Let her finish. No, I didn't mean that. I was just saying that I was under the impression your videos are popular with girls.
視聴者の性別なんて気にしたことないから知らない。
Oh, I guess I stumbled on a bad topic. I mean, I wanted to watch them too, but after I died I couldn't anymore. Too bad. I'm making things worse.
あんたって嘘つくの下手だね。
It's not a lie. I wanted to watch them.
本人が目の前にいるんだからそれでいいだろう。
Well, I guess that's true.
俺の配信見たかったって言うなら、今度一緒に心霊スポット行こう。
Huh?
取材で心霊スポット行くことあってさ、俺が一緒に行けば配信と一緒。
He's got such a smug grin on right now. I think I'll pass.
ダメ、決定。
Nope. Hey. I should have just given up on this topic. Now I really regret it. That was cute. Okay, so we're going to go back up to the very top and take the mask option. Alright, now we're going to talk about his mask. So, Koyo, what's the deal with that mask? Are you trying to be like Senna? How is that like Senna?
Huh? Senna?
I know, right? Yeah, I mean, being Mary must make you pretty famous, right? You're an urban legend after all. A lot of people must want to try and meet you. It would probably be a pain if loads of people were trying to track you down, so that's why you keep the mask. What? What's so funny?
いや、ごめん。そんなこと真剣に考えてたのかって思ったら笑えて。
I just mean I was curious.
気になったって。マスクが。俺が。
Huh? It's so awkward to look at him now. In an attempt to rescue the situation, Koyo took a deep breath and changed the topic.
まあ、理由なんて大したことない。見つかりたくないやつが一人いるってだけ。
Is it Reika?
そいつに見つかる前に、俺が見つけなきゃ。
As he spoke, the air around him changed into nothing like I'd ever seen from him before. Well, I think your mask looks cool. I said that because I wanted to bring back his normal self, but Koyo merely seemed agitated. He slipped the mask back on.
急に何？演技ってバレバレ。
I'm not faking it. It really does look cool. But I think you look cool without it too.
ああ、もういいって。それ以上言われるとやばい。
Stop doting on him. Huh? What do you mean too much?
あんた、うざい。
Blush. I was just being nice. After seeing my shocked response, Koyo started patting me on the head for some reason.
あんたはずっと単純なままでいて、歪んだりしないで、そのままで。
I really didn't get it, but Koyo seemed to have calmed down, so I guess it was for the best. That was cute. It's always cute with Koyo. It's cute with Senna too. Let's see. I don't think we're gonna get a perspective up, I guess. You just... Yeah, no. Now we're talking with Reika again, so I'm gonna skip. Alright. I understand. We told him that Reika showed up, and he's like, don't go near her, she's dangerous. And we're gonna say, I understand. Alright, I got it. If you say she's dangerous, Koyo, then I guess she really is dangerous. His face relaxed and he looked relieved and took a step back from me.
信じてくれて助かる。サンキュー。あんたが傷つけられる前に会えて本当に良かった。
The sheer amount of relief on his face just told me how worried he'd been. I was worried about you too. I'm glad to see you're alright.
俺の心配したわけ？
Yeah, that's kind of weird, huh? We were both worried about each other at the same time.
まあ、そうだけど。
For a second, our eyes met before he quickly turned his gaze away.
心配してくれて、サンキュー。
He's blushing without his mask this time. I think this is new, actually. I couldn't tell if he was happy or embarrassed.
後でセナの様子見に行ってもいい？
Oh, that's right. Now that you mention it, I saw Reiki with Senna yesterday. His face fell and he quickly grabbed me by the hand.
ごめん。セナのとこ先に行かせて。
I don't think this is new, though. Okay, let's go. With Koyo's hand in mine, we rushed to find Senna. But we get a perspective. Holding Misa's hand in mine, we rushed to find Senna. Someone I care about might get hurt because of me. In the midst of my panic, my thoughts turned to Reika. Finally, I could see Reika again. After searching for so long, what I had been looking for all this time was now in sight. I couldn't help but feel excited. Oh, really? I gripped Misa's hand even tighter. I felt like in Senna's route, he mentioned that he would take care of her. I don't know if that means... I don't know what he means by that, but... Yeah, whenever she went to go find Senna in his route, I guess he's gonna go take care of her, and that was the last we ever heard about Reika. I gripped Misa's hand even tighter.
絶対に守る。
Huh? What is it?
なんでもない。
Not only for myself, but for the people I care about. I had to destroy her. Oh, okay. So he is trying to kill her. Destroy her. How's he going to do that, though? Maybe that's his regret. Maybe that's the person he died with. As Koyo expected, we found Senna at the park.
あれ？君、紅葉と知り合いだったんだ。
I've already tried to skip, and it's still this is still the unread part, I guess, so we'll keep reading. Seeing Senna stare at us with a bewildered look on his face, Koyo let out a sigh of relief.
紅葉？どうしちゃったの？
Well...
レイカって女に会ったでしょ。あれ危険人物だから近づかないで。
だって紅葉の恋人だって、そうレイカちゃんから聞いていたのに。
それ全部嘘。あいつは俺のストーカーだから。
Soccer, from when he was alive? I knew that everything Reika had said up to that point might have been a lie, but Reika had said she loved Koyo before she died. And when I heard that, I wondered if she might have killed herself to follow him in death. The more I thought about it, the more that seemed to make sense. As these thoughts ran through my mind, Koyo turned to me with a look of concern.
セナに襲いかかるってのはあんまり心配してないけど。
彼女が紅葉と仲良しなら、狙われるのは、そうなるよね。
All eyes were on me. You think I'm the most danger.
セナはなよなよしてはいるけど、男だからなんとかなる。 でもあんたは違う。
なよなよってひどいな。これでも筋トレしてきてるんだから体作りはバッチリだよ。
俺がレイカと決着つけるから、それまでは一人で行動しないで。俺が常にあんたのそばにいるから、絶対に離れないで。いい？
Are you sure it's okay? I really don't want to cause any trouble for you.
付き合わせてるのは俺の方。巻き込んでごめん。あんたのことは俺が守るから。
Yeah, this is the different part. At this point, he asked Senna to watch over her while he left, but now it's Koyo protecting. He spoke to me with a very serious gaze. I was both grateful and happy. Thank you, that's reassuring. A smile crept up on my face, and I saw Koyo chuckle slightly.
はあ、今の紅葉すっごくかっこよかった。
そういうの言わなくていいから。
The atmosphere seemed lighter than before, and my heart felt at ease. But that's when I wondered, was Reika somewhere nearby watching the scene unfold? Once I started thinking about it, I was unable to stop. I began to tremble. Not just me, I'm worried about Koyo too. These thoughts stuck with me. Together we went back to the school, then after all the students and staff left, we headed to the appropriate classroom to use the spirit board. I told him I could concentrate better on my own and asked him to wait outside. Koyo didn't come here, so she's going to contact the spirit now. We're going to skip to the choice. Alright, what is the truth of the accident? Skip again. What is Sayaka trying to do? Skip again. And now, our final question. Are we really dead? Am I really dead? The spirit didn't say anything. He quietly moved the coin across the board. No. I know. Whenever the heart thumped in the last root, I got a chill. I felt my chest seize up. There was no heartbeat in this chest. Still, somewhere out there, my heart continued to beat. I'm going to do a normal skip read like this until we get to unread content. Which is not very far. I went back into the hallway. I found Koyo sitting there waiting for me. Oh, it's not Senna this time, it's Koyo. Maybe Koyo is the one that went with her instead of Senna in the first place. When he noticed me coming out of the classroom, he stood up. Sorry to keep you waiting, I'm all finished.
こっくりさんには会えた？
I did. I was able to ask him everything I wanted to ask. I feel a lot better now.
友達のことどうだって？
You mean, what did she learn about herself? Well, I told him about what Sayaka was trying to do. I also talked about how I had been spirited away. In addition, I told him about my condition. Koyo just listened silently before speaking.
生き量って？マジか。
Yes, I think my body is in the hospital, so I'd like to go there right away. Just fall. Koyo sighed deeply and crouched down on the spot.
よ
Aww.
かった。あんたが生きていてくれて
He's so
本当に
happy.
嬉しい。
He's so happy. It's adorable. At the accident, he tried to save me. Then he found me and tried to help me cross over. Now he shared in my joy that I was alive. I was so grateful he'd been there for me all this time. I outstretched my hand to him. Are you okay? I spoke with a smile and Koyo looked up at me laughing. He placed his hand in mine and I helped pull him back to his feet.
最初と逆じゃん。
Well, I think it's my turn to help you for a change. His head tilted inquisitively as he looked at me. I told you before, this is happening to me because some kind of god wants it to. In order to go back, I have to figure out what my path in life is.
まだ準備が整ってないってことか。
That's right. When I thought I was dead, I thought my future didn't matter. But now I knew that I had to clear my head and heart from the fears that clouded my way. I'm not ready to leave this place yet. In the meantime, I want to help you, Koyo.
手伝ってほしいものなんてないけど。
What about Reika? As if he knew what I was going to say, Koyo turned away from me.
手伝わなくていい。
But,
いいって言ってる。
against his blunt refusal, I knew there was nothing else I could say. Fine, but can I just say something? I don't want you getting hurt, Koyo, and I don't want you hurting anyone either. You're the type of person who helps people, Koyo, not hurt them. It was the same for Mary, and it was the same for Koyo. I had been saved countless times by him, which is why I didn't want to see him become someone who would hurt others. Koyo stared at me before smiling and gently patting me on the head.
あんたはそのままでいて。
He replied with an answer that wasn't much of an answer and pulled his hand away from mine. I returned the items I'd received from Hibiki and left the school after that. The sun had set, and I made my way to the hospital before it faded completely into the darkness. Then, when I arrived at the hospital, I checked the names on the rooms one by one, and finally, when I found the room with my name on it, I felt my legs stiffen. I'd expected this, but I suddenly felt anxious. When I entered the room, I found a pure, white, clean, and spacious private room. I saw someone sleeping in the bed. The patient had an IV and a respirator on. A nearby monitor beeped faintly with a feeble heartbeat. There were bandages everywhere, and a pale, gaunt face peeked in through the cracks. There was no joy. I was merely speechless. I wasn't alive so much as I was being kept alive. Is that really me? My body swayed unsteadily, but Koyo, who was right next to me, caught me and propped me up.
おーいミーさん、愛しのお姉様が来たぞー。こら、いくら個室だからってあまり騒がしくしないの。
Sis, Mom. My sister stared down at me, smiling sadly as she stroked my hair. My mom looked exhausted and pulled the covers back over me.
あら、少し顔色が良くなったかしら。確かに。もうそろそろ目を覚ますかもね。
Tears welled up in my mom's eyes as she looked down at me.
あの人の時と同じ。見ているだけなんて。それは違うよ。父さんの時とは違う。ミサは絶対に目覚めるんだから。ええ、そうね。今日はもう遅いし、短いけど顔も見れたし、そろそろ帰ろう。ええ。ミサ、また明日来るわね。
The two of them left. All I could do was stand there, stunned. Koyo just stood by my side silently, holding me up by my shoulders. I have to find a way to wake up soon. I couldn't keep worrying my family like this. I'm sorry, Koyo. Let's go. The door slid open before I could finish speaking. An ashen-faced Sayaka had glided through the door. I'm gonna skip until we come to unread content. Koyo exhaled with a tired look on his face, and I bowed deeply with gratitude. Sayaka was still there in the hospital room, but she wore a different expression from before. Relieved, the two of us left the hospital. After we left the hospital, my head was so full of the day's events that we just ended up walking aimlessly. Seeing myself asleep in the hospital room, the concerned looks of my friends and family, all the things that were vague before suddenly seemed brutally clear.
そろそろ話しかけていい？
Sorry, so much happened. I guess I just kind of spaced out.
いや、多分俺でもそうなるから。進路のこと向き合えそう？
I'm not sure how to say this, but I don't think I've got it sorted out in my mind either. Of course I want to go back as soon as possible, but As a living ghost, I was free from all the worries about what my future would be. I don't know if I have the courage to go back there just yet. When I woke up, would I really need to face those same problems as before?
ああ、映画見たいな。
Huh? I was so surprised by his words. They drove my worries to the back of my mind. Hey, wait. We've been together all day. I had no idea what time it was, but it was already dark. I'm sorry. I've been so self-involved and dragged you all over the place today.
言っただろ。あんたを守るって。こうなってるのは俺の事情だから気にしないで。
Yes, that's true, but... I turned to face him and straightened my posture. Thank you very much for keeping me company today. I'm going to head back to my place and do some thinking. He's like, no, you're not. Just as I spoke the words to tell him goodbye, he grabbed me by the arm. Hey. He quickly started walking in the other direction and I was pulled along with him.
息抜き、付き合って。多分今から上映してるやつあるから。
He's like, you're not gonna go back and wallow in your sorrow. Not that I mind, but does Koyo really have time for this? What was going to happen with Reika? He's worried about you becoming a wraith. I asked if I could help, but he flatly refused. I had no idea what was going on between them. It was like there was a barrier between us when it came to all things Reika related. We were getting to know each other little by little through our talks here and there, but there were still parts of him that he kept hidden from me. Soon the lights dimmed and previews began to play. Aww, we get adorable CG with them.
今から見る映画、笑える内容なんだよね。クレハさんと見たことあんだけど、いつも笑顔が乏しいあの人でさえ大声で笑ってたから面白いの確実。
That reminds me, so this is taking the place of Cinna's date right now. Because there was a CG in Chapter 5 for him as well. They're kind of going on an official date. Because Koyo couldn't call it a date, he's too embarrassed. So he's seen it already. So it's a good one, huh? I'm looking forward to it.
どうせ俺しか声聞こえないし、思いっきり笑っていいから。今の瞬間だけ、いろいろ忘れて笑って。
Could be. Wait, when you said time to take a break, were you talking about me? I thought he was talking about himself.
さあ、どうだろうね。
His little teasing voice, it's cute. His kindness was subtle and could be hard to understand at times, but I understood it now. He knew that I was struggling with everything I'd just seen, that's why he brought me here. I decided to just take the plunge. Hey, would you mind if I leaned on you for a minute? Instead of answering, he just reached out his hand. Oh.
楽になった。
He looks away, he's so shy. Yeah, much better. Felt close to him and not just in a physical sense. He's so cute. When I first started this route, I was not a Koyo fan at all because he was just so rude, but this is adorable. I had a warmth spread through my chest and a feeling of security I never felt before.
辛い時とか、寄りかかっていいから。あと、付き合わせてるなんて思わなくていい。あんた、気使いすぎなんだよ。もっと今みたいにしてきていいから。
He couldn't bring himself to say any more, but I found his embarrassment endearing. I know, rely on me. You don't have to go through it alone. This is nice. Oh. In that moment, I found my feelings for him began to change. Right in time for chapter 6. After the movie, Koyo took me back to my house for the first time in a long while. It feels refreshing to come back here. It's only been a few days, but I really missed it. Koyo was still worried about Reika and wanted to stay with me, but I refused. I couldn't take any more of his time. Besides, he must have been worried about leaving Senna for long too.
映画楽しかった？
Who's that? Hearing that voice, I felt a chill run down my Oh, it's Reika. Oh no! She's in your house. Oh my goodness. You should have stayed. Lilia turned. Oh, I bet she followed them around to the movie, and now she is upset. Slowly, I turned to face the direction of the voice and saw Reika standing before me. Did she see the whole thing? I know, right? Take a step back. I quickly closed the gap between us. Closed? You mean you're opening it?
いい感じだったよね。肩にもたれかかって寄り添って夜空すっごく迷惑そうだった。
You should probably not be there.
ミサちゃんに構ってる暇なんてないのに夜空優しいからさ。ねえ、レイカの言いたいことわかる？
Her eyes were filled with a madness as she stared at me without blinking. Even if I wanted to speak, my lips were frozen. My voice wouldn't come out. I had no words. There's Koyo. Then I saw a familiar figure appear behind her.
こいつを狙うと思ってた。
At least he didn't leave. We parted ways just moments ago. Perhaps he was worried and decided to watch over me. Koyo's eyes were locked on Reika.
レイカ、久しぶり。地獄に行ったって思ってたから、もう会えないんじゃないかって不安だったよ。
Huh? His words, the expression on his face, they were so unlike him.
夜空会いたかった
Oh my goodness. She immediately wrapped her arms around him. What's going on here?
ずっと会いたかったんだけど、今は接近禁止命令が出てるから様子見していたの。
Restraining order. Reika then threw her head back and glanced at the ceiling.
地獄の大観主様見てる？彼、レイカのこと大好きなんだよ。だから全部誤解なの。
So annoying. Grand Order of Hell, that's Saya. Yeah, Koyo is acting familiar with her. Not in the sense that he hates her or anything.
確かにレイカが夜空を殺したけど、でも彼もそれは了承していたんだよ。ねえ、夜空。
Wait, she killed him? Uh-oh. I could tell by the look on his face that she had in fact been the one to kill him. And yet his eyes were also filled with rage. Seemingly unaware, Reika continued.
てかそうだ、聞いてよ。いくら説明しても大観主様分かってくれないんだよ。お互い死ぬほど好きだからああしただけで、だから罪じゃないって何度も説明してるのにさ。愛し合ってるっていう何よりの証拠なのにね。あ、そうだ、夜空も一緒に大観主様を説得してよ。ね、いいでしょ？
She stepped away from him and quickly took his hand.
行こう、地獄に。終わったらずーっと一緒に過ごそうね。
いい加減にしろ！
Oh my goodness. What is wrong? It was the first time I heard him raise his voice in anger and I flinched involuntarily.
あんたの言ってることは全部勘違い。愛し合ってる証拠、それで殺した。俺が了承して。なんだそれ。俺がいつあんたを好きになったよ。マジでふざけんじゃねえ。
でもだって一緒に死んでくれたじゃん。
あんたやっぱり頭おかしいわ。
それはそうかも。でもそれほど深い愛情ってことだよ。
Ignoring Koyo's words, Rika merely continued to smile blankly at him. Although I didn't know all the details, I knew enough to understand this. Rika was dangerous.
ねえ、怒らないでよ。愛 に来られなくってごめんってば。
It wasn't what he was saying at all. Why couldn't she hear what he was trying to tell her?
夜空、前からそうだったよね。レイカがいないとわざと他の女とイチャついてさ。嫉妬させたいのはわかるけど傷つくんだよ。
まあいいや。レイカが変わってなくてよかったよ。
変わるわけないよ。夜空しか愛してないのは生きている時からだもん。
そう。すごく嬉しい。
He sounds like he's going insane. It wasn't just Reika, but Koyo had a deranged look on his face that gave me the creeps. There was something very weird in the air. It was hard for me to even look at them, and I dropped my gaze to the floor. Then I suddenly felt a tug at my hand. It was Koyo.
レイカ、今日はもう行くけど、すぐにまた会いに来るから。今度は俺があんたを殺す番。
何それ。
魂ごと消滅させて無にする。クソほど嫌いなあんたをどの世界からも消すために。
Oh my goodness.
嘘つきなんだ。さっき会えなかったから不安だったって言ってくれたじゃない。その女がファンだから気を使ってるんでしょ。ちゃんと分かってるよ。
まだわかんないの？殺したいから会いたかったって。あんたに対する感情は憎悪しかない。
His face distorted with the eerie mix of fury and despair. Reika pointed at Koyo and mine intertwined hands.
この手離してよ。もう嫉妬させないで。頭がおかしくなる。
He took no notice of her. He merely pulled my hand and we left the house.
だから言っただろ。心配だから一緒にいるって。
I'm sorry, I just didn't realize how bad it is. Koyo sighed as he listened to my apology.
悪い。謝るの俺の方。俺のせいでこうなってるのに。ごめん。
Looking at Koyo again, I was relieved to see that his normal look and aura had returned. I know, I'm like, it sounds like he's back to normal. Earlier he seemed possessed by a hatred I'd never seen in him before. It was very frightening. I wonder if there's going to be a Wraith bad ending for Koyo in this one, because, yeah, that's what happened to Kuroha. He got so upset that he turned into a Wraith, or a half-Wraith, I guess. Perhaps it was because I didn't know the details of their relationship. If I did, maybe I could understand Koyo's feelings. I was about to speak, but then my vision blurred. Uh-oh. My body swayed. Koyo quickly reached for me and managed to catch me before I hit the ground. I'm sorry, so much has happened. I guess I'm just a little tired.
本当にそれだけ。無理してごまかしてんなら怒る。
Couldn't be mad. The truth is,
精神的な疲労が蓄積されたのでしょう。あのようなものと接触したのですから、そうなるのも必然というもの。
yay, Seiya's here. Well, if Hell's involved, it makes sense that Seiya is going to be in this one. Although we don't know Seiya in this one because he's in the other route. Turning around to face the boys, we saw a strange man standing behind us.
うわ、すげえ格好。
Oh, he doesn't even know who he is. The Grand Warder of Hell. I want to say the same thing, but I'm too shocked to say it out loud. The man tried to act as though he hadn't heard us, but I saw a smile creep across his lips.
お初にお目にかかります。説明が面倒なので、簡単に自己紹介させていただきます。私は地獄の大監守をしている聖夜と申します。 生前罪を犯した魂に罰を与える仕事をしております。
Hell, Grand Warder. It was just as Rika has said moments ago.
そちら、一色美沙さんでございますね。
Yes, how do you know that?
あの異常者と接触してとても疲れていることでしょう。どこかで休まなければいけませんね。
You totally ignored my question. I'm fine, really. When you say disturbed creature, do you mean Rika?
はあ、三隅霊下以外に誰がいるというのです。
Like, who else? Huh, this guy sure has an odd way of talking.
あれは接近禁止命令を無視し、あなた、紅葉さんに接触しました。よって私が捕らえに来たのですが、すでに逃亡した後、取り逃がしたのはすべてこちらのミスでございます。ご迷惑をおかけして申し訳ありません。
あんたのせいじゃないだろう。あいつは魂を消さない限り永遠に俺につきまとう。生きてる時からあいつにつきまとわれた俺しかわからない。
Koyo merely stared at the ground with a bitter look on his face. He looked as though he was remembering all the terrible things she'd done to him. Koyo. I was about to speak when my vision became blurry again and my footing grew unsteady.
どこかで休まないとまずい。ほら、おぶってやるから。
Alright, I think if you let me lean on you, I can walk.
互いを気遣う優しさ、深い愛情。はあ、嫉妬するほど羨ましい。
I cannot wait for Saya's route because he did this in Hibiki's too. I think he's just a romantic. He was commenting on young love in Hibiki's route. He's just so passionate about it. I hope he's the next one. I don't know who the next one is, but I hope it's him. I don't know who's in his route with him though. Let's see. All right, there's something wrong with my internet, so it's a good thing that, well, I mean, I have my phone that I can look up choices, but it's a good thing that the choices are already over. But I can't go, I mean, I could go look at my phone and see what route he's in, but we're almost done with this, so we'll just continue.
こんな状況で変態っぽいこと言うな。
Don't say weird things.
変態であると重々承知しております。
I'm a bit weird.
ひとまず彼女が息を引き取る前に休息のできる場所へ移動しましょう。
Huh? Take my final breath. You're gonna go back to the nurse's office. Are you aware that I'm a living ghost? He sighed deeply and stared at me with a look of total boredom.
先ほど申し上げたはずです。私は死者を管理する立場にあると。
I know, it's his job to know these things.
そのような仕事についているのですから、知っていてもおかしくないと、そう思うのが常識ではありませんか？
I'm sorry, I guess I didn't really think about that.
聞いた方が早いって思う方が常識だろ。
まったくもって嘆かわしい。考える前に言葉を口にし、わからないことは何でも他者を頼る。そのように甘えた精神だからこそ、あなたの魂は生死をさまよっているのでしょうね。
Hey, that's a bit much. My vision unfocused once again. I found it hard to stay standing.
これはいけない。さあ、彼女をこちらへ。
Uh-oh, is she unconscious now?
は？何言ってんの？
私が運んで差し上げるのですよ。あなたも疲れた顔をしていますから、彼女を抱えるのは大変でしょ
う。Koyo, it's fine with me, so...
余裕だから気にしないで。
No man will carry you. Uh-oh.
おい、こいつに触んな！
What the heck? I was like a rag doll as the two of them pulled me back and forth. I wish they wouldn't shake me like this.
落ち着きなさい。彼女を抱きかかえたところで愛してしまうことはありませんから。
That's really funny. She's not my girlfriend.
その発言が無理。キモい。こいつに触るな。変態が映る。
Everything's fading to black. They argued as they jerked me back and forth. Yet I found myself slipping even deeper into the darkness. At the end, chapter 6 Koyo. Probably. Yep. I knew it. That's funny. Well, at least it's not like Senna's where she's back in the real world, right? And she can't ever see him again. That got on my nerves so much. Don't worry, I'm not gonna fall in love with your girlfriend just by holding her. I cannot wait to play Saya's route. So I'm going to keep this outro really short because I have to figure out why the internet's bad. Why the internet's being dumb. Anyway, that's the end of Koyo's common route. I was going to use the first CG that we skipped for Koyo for the thumbnail for this, but I think I'm going to use the movie theater one instead because it's a lot cuter, and if it was me watching this, even if I've never seen it before, I'm like, oh, it's a cute anime with this guy blushing with holding this girl. What is this about? I want to see it. So that's the one I'm going for. I'm really excited for this one because hopefully she spends most of her time as a ghost so she can interact with Koyo instead of being like another Senna thing where, I don't know, they just have this separation between them for a long time. And Seiya's involved too, which is very interesting. I hope Koyo doesn't suffer too much in here with Reika. Hearing his anguished cries was very disheartening, and I have a feeling that he's probably going to make me cry in this route. Senna made me cry in his route as well, like twice I think. But I think Koyo's another candidate for that. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.